Hi, class. I'm back. Um, I am going to take a few minutes to walk you through kind of the class format and kind of what I'm thinking for the next 6 weeks. I will reserve the right to change it because we may find that something's not working or technology, or I have to move my computer 50,000 times. So sorry for the shakes there, but that's kind of my goal here today is going to be to walk you through the sections of the video of the class so that you kind of have a visual aid, very similar to what somebody would do on the first day of class where they talk about the syllabus and all that good stuff. I'm not going to spend a ton of time reading it to you because you're smart, you're in college, you can do it. But I definitely want to make sure that you have a little bit of guidance. So I'm going to share my screen and we'll jump right in. So here's kind of what we're thinking. You'll see a start here video. There's a welcome video that hopefully you've already watched because you made it this far. And so you'll just click through, use these arrows as you go through the class. Here's a little bit of information about the course, about the textbook, all that fun stuff. And then a little bit about me. So I am Dr. Amy Mahaffey. I have been teaching at SFA off and on since 2015. I had a job at the city of Nacogdoches before, where I was the communications and marketing director. And so you can read about my education and all that good stuff if you're super interested. We have a couple of cute little kids. They make us laugh every single day. I also left that job in December and started teaching full time. And so that's super exciting. And I've expanded on the side my photography and social media management business. And so you'll hear me talk as I do videos. My goal for this class is to connect what happens in a textbook to what happens in real life. And so I'm excited to bring some of that experience to you. You may see some videos in here of different things that have been maybe recorded in other contexts, but I always say about marketing is that if you understand the principles of marketing, which is the name of this class, that you are able to kind of apply it to all different industries. So you'll hear me talk about my time in youth development where I worked for the state 4-H headquarters. You'll hear me talk about the city. You may hear me talk about like new examples with some of the social media clients. I run quite a few pages at this point. I've been busy this summer, and so that's exciting. So you may hear me talk about different examples there. And so my goal, like I said, is to help you see that, okay, there's lots of different industries I can go into, but as I'm really seeing what's going on here and what's happening in this class, start to connect those things. So let's jump in here. You can read more about that. I do have on here my email address and my cell phone number. Since this is an online class, I want you to feel like you're accessible to me and that you can call and ask questions or text and ask questions. I can't promise that I'm going to get back to you in 5 minutes, but sometimes I'm pretty quick to answer a text or a phone call. Just kind of depends on what's going on, but usually that's the fastest. Email's okay, D2L is okay, but if you really have like a pressing question, feel free to text me. I give that number out so that y'all feel like you're accessible in a face-to-face class. You get to talk to your teacher, a couple times a week, and you can ask questions and you have that interaction. You don't really have that online, so that's kind of my way of helping make that similar. Here's your syllabus. So what I'm going to really focus on here, your textbook. A lot of students will choose to go ahead and do the online through this Unlimited. Ken Gage is the publisher of the book. There's a whole page here in a minute that I'll show you about how to get online, how to get your book, how to sign up for the online version of like their online platform of the class. There'll be some quizzes and some different study guides and things in there. So you'll want to make sure you do that. I tell students to treat class like a job. So in a job, you turn in things on time, you're respectful to your boss, and you show up ready to work. And so I like to equate your job as a college student is to go to class. And so my goal here is that you simulate working and your work and your job for the next 6 weeks is this class. And so summer classes, as you know, can be kind of intense, and this is no different. My goal is to make it fun and help you learn, and we'll get through it together. But I ask that you be flexible. As you saw in the other video, I've taught this class many times. I think I taught 3 sections of it in the spring. And so I'm certainly happy with the content and the textbook and all the things that the department has. Every College of Business student takes this class. And so we really try to keep it the same no matter what teacher you work with. So you may hear different examples and my personality may be different, but y'all are all getting the same content no matter which section you take. With that being said, I've taught this class many times. I haven't taught it online. And so I'm going to reserve the right to switch gears if we have to. I'm going to reserve the right to switch up the syllabus a little bit as we go along. I'm just going to kind of see how it goes the first couple of weeks and we'll get through it there. But pay attention. So that's the key here is check your D2L updates, watch the videos, be engaged in the content, and that will help you if something changes, be able to keep up and not be confused. So you can read all about this. Anybody who has any sort of special accommodation that they may need, please contact me. The Disability Services usually sends those in advance as well. And so if that's you and you want to discuss that, I'm more than happy to make any sort of accommodations that you may need and make your learning as best as possible. And that goes for everybody. So I said this is like a job. If you have something happen crazy, I hope that doesn't happen to you. I hope that everybody's life is just peaceful and easy and easy going. But at the same time, I want to make sure that if something happens, you communicate that with me. At a real job, if something happens or if something comes up or you have somebody get sick or whatever the case may be, you communicate that with your boss. And so I ask the same of you, that you communicate that with me. I tend to be a little more accepting of maybe turning something in a little bit late or a flexible deadline if you have communicated with me in advance that something's going on with you. I've been doing this a long time. I've heard lots and lots of excuses, and so that's not going to work. So I've heard them all. But if you truly have something happening, I will do my best to work with you. I get that you also have lives outside of class. This being a summer class, though, it's tight. So I just wrapped up another summer course last week, and somebody got behind and they just couldn't catch up. And I don't want that to happen to you. So make sure that you're really diligent. We're covering 5 chapters in the first week, and so you have to be really present and really diligent and really on top of things so that you don't get behind. Because once you get behind, it's really hard to catch up in 6 weeks. We'll have some exams. My goal is, and this is a goal and this is a loose guideline, so don't hold me to this, but I try to make everything due Sunday at midnight. That being said, like I told you, there are 5 chapters this week. There'll be homework assignments, there'll be quizzes, and there's an exam at the end of the week. And so I realized the end of this week is 4th of July. So I'm going to actually have your exam happen on Monday of next week, a week from today, just because I'm not a total monster. And I understand a lot of you work on a holiday weekend. You may be going home. You may be going somewhere. That's fine. But don't wait until Sunday to do everything, because you will not be able to do quizzes, do homework assignments, study the material, listen to the videos, and take an exam on one day. So you're really going to have to pay attention and do probably a chapter a day. You'll see the first week starting today through Sunday, July 4th is chapters 1 through 5. I'll show you what that looks like in just a minute. You'll have an exam on Monday, but then as you go down, you'll start to have an exam every Sunday. So the goal will be like next week, you'll have 6 through 9, and then Sunday on the 11th, you'll have an exam online. My exams are based on the textbook and the fact that you've paid attention to the lectures that I'm going to do on the videos. So the videos are going to be to enhance your learning. It's going to be for me to explain to you what's happening in the textbook. The quizzes that you'll take, I'll show you what those look like. Those are really more of how the exams look, the way that the questions are asked, things like that. So it really takes that textbook piece and kind of drives that home. And then the videos from me kind of help connect it to the real world. So you kind of need it all to take the exam. You need to be able to understand what's in your textbook, and you need to be able to understand what I've taught you in a lecture so that you can do really well on the exam. So you'll have 5 exams that are each worth 75 points. At the end, you'll see these chapters are kind of in a funny order here. That's by design. So we'll go straight through to chapter 14, and then I'm going to throw 17 and 19 in there because you will have a final project. I try to do a final project in my face-to-face classes. And so I'm going to try to adapt that to an online version. It may look a little bit different, but it's really important for me that you understand how to like apply some of this knowledge to the real world and actually get your hands dirty and do it. And so we're going to have, you'll have an exam on August 1st. You may have some pieces of that final exam due or the final project due. I have a vision in my head. I'm going to have to kind of work it out a little bit as we go through. I want to see how the first couple of weeks of class goes before I fully commit, just to make sure that we're all kind of getting in a routine and we all feel comfortable with things, and myself included. But then August 6th, there will be some sort of project at the end. And so if chapters 15, 16, and 18, it'll be a project that incorporates that in some way, shape, or form. So you won't be tested over that, but you'll have to do something that shows that you understand those concepts. So that is the syllabus. Yay. Let's move on here. So MindTap is the platform. It's kind of like the D2L for the textbook. And so here's how it looks on my end. See, Instructor Center. Here's your textbook. And then here is your course. And so when you go into your course, I live in the country. I have really slow internet. Sorry. You'll see there's all kinds of stuff in here. Now, don't be confused, because there will be things in here that are not required of you. They're just to help you. So for example, chapter 1, unless I tell you, please go into MindTap and take a quiz, you don't need to worry about it. So you'll see all kinds of videos, you'll see all kinds of like activities, different things, and then you'll see flashcards, lecture slides, all kinds of stuff. This is really supplemental to what is in the module. So I'll show you what that means in a minute, but you will need to go through these instructions, register for the course, and then this will also get you access to the book. If you already have a book or you've purchased the book, that's fine too. You have to kind of have both things. So if you want like a real life book in front of you, that's totally fine. But no, it's a summer class. You probably need to order that ASAP. So I'm going to try to do a checklist for the first couple of weeks to make sure that everybody kind of has a little bit of guidance. So the goal will be that you watch that first video, you review the syllabus on your own, you register for MindTap, and you watch the tour video, which is what you're doing now. So you can check that one off your list. Yay. Okay. So I am going to show you also real quick what kind of the content side looks like to kind of help you understand how this is going to work. So each unit, each chapter has instructor notes. So these are just notes of like kind of what I might read before I give a lecture, of just things a book has given. There's also a PowerPoint. So this is what I will go over in your chapter 1 video. I'll go through it and kind of explain some things to you and walk through each of these things, each of these slides. And then there's also some notes. No, that's wrong. That's instructor notes. There's learning objectives and key terms. So you'll see this is like hitting the high points. So those of you who like to take notes, those of you who want to follow along with the video and the notes at the same time, this is really built for however you like to learn. So if you like to learn by listening to a video, you can go into MindTap and listen to all these videos that would cover lots and lots of pieces. So you don't maybe necessarily have to read every single page of the chapter. Reading your book will be vital to this online class. So I just warn you now that watching my videos is great, but you're going to have to pay attention to the textbook as well. So just depending on how you learn, you may never look at these objectives and key terms. You may go, I'm an audio learner. I don't want to hear that. I want to listen to the lectures from Dr. Mahaffey, and I want to listen to the lectures on MindTap, and I'm done. Or you may want both. You may want to print out the PowerPoint and follow along. It's up to you, however that works. But you'll see those 3 elements, the notes, the objectives, and the PowerPoints in every single chapter. That's kind of the backbone of the course. Now, I've taught this class enough that I like to add in a few things, especially in chapter week 1. So this kind of simulates what would happen in a classroom, which is, we're doing chapter 1 this week, and also I'm going to stand up in front of you and lecture and use these other things. So when you watch the video that I'm going to make, haven't done it yet, but I will, over chapter 1, you'll see me go through some of these other things. So I say chapter 1 plus some other stuff. That's what I'm talking about. The other stuff is branding. There's a little PowerPoint about branding. There's a branding map. There's a little overview of what a marketing plan is. And then there's an assignment. So remember I said there's all kinds of stuff in MindTap, which is over here. But don't feel like you have to do every single thing unless I tell you to. Right here, MindTap quiz chapter 1. This is me telling you to get in and take the quiz. There are unlimited attempts. This is really just to help you go into your book and dig and get your hands dirty and look at some of the different concepts. So I can see those grades from my end. So you can take it as many times as you want, and they will be graded as part of your homework, if you will. I'm hoping the technology works with us and it just kind of flows and you're able to access it easily. But stay tuned. This may be a thing of the past as the weeks go on. But my goal here is that most weeks will look like this. You'll have your 3 things, your notes, your key terms and objectives, and your PowerPoint. And then you'll have whatever else I add in, a video of me going over all of that, a MindTap quiz for each chapter, and then maybe an assignment. So this week we have 5 chapters. So you're not going to have an assignment for every chapter, but you will have an assignment for some chapters. So just pay really close attention. Like I said, my goal here is that you could click through the first page if you were following along with a video or whatever, and that you would be able to have these tools at your disposal if you wanted to print them off or look at them or whatever, but that you can use these arrows to click through in order for the most part what you need to do. So I have here another checklist. So this will show you, I need you to watch the chapter 1 video that I'm going to make, review the branding map, review the PowerPoint and the key terms, review the marketing plan, which was an attachment in there, take the MindTap quiz, and complete the SWOT analysis. And that is a Dropbox. So I have that due, the SWOT analysis and your quiz, by Sunday. If you wait until Sunday, don't forget you have 4 more chapters after this. So you're going to start to see these things populate. I have them built in another class because I've taught this class so many times. So I'm going to import them in. So this looks kind of empty right now, but you'll start to see week 1, start here, week 1, chapter 1, week 1, chapter 2, and we're going to go through 5, and then you'll see your exam. So I will emphasize again, do not wait until next week or at the end of the week to start looking at all of this. There is a lot of information. Summer classes are intense and you have to hit the ground running. And so my suggestion would be to go ahead and start today. Here in the next little bit, I'm going to have the chapter 1 video uploaded. I'm probably going to work through those videos a little bit as the week goes on. So hopefully if you want to work ahead, that's fine. You totally can. I just may not have every single video of me talking uploaded on the first day. I'm going to make these as I go along. As I said, this is my first time teaching this online class. So full disclosure, I don't have all the videos made, but my goal is that at least each morning until we get through the 5 chapters, that I'll go ahead and knock out the lectures of these things. I'm going to try to break it up into little pieces so that you're not like inundated with videos, because I know that gets old. So just bear with me, but I am going to populate, because truly if I wasn't doing videos, you would be okay, because you can look at the notes, you can look at the PowerPoints, you can look at the quizzes. You have a lot of tools at your disposal. So if the video is not there just yet, hang in there and I'll get it there at some point. I'm going to try to pace myself in the way that you would pace yourself in your learning through the week. But you could, if you're very studious and you have a lot of time at the beginning of the week, you could go ahead when I get these loaded and do chapter 2, do chapter 3, do chapter 4, and get started, and then kind of watch the videos before your exam or whatever to study. So that's kind of the tour and the structure of how this is going to work. So we'll leave it at that for now. Thanks for tuning in.